Hello! I've been trying to get away from saying, hi guys! I don't know why I do that. Hi guys! So, we'll try something different. Hello! That's my really bad British accent. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the videos yesterday. 2 videos. If you haven't seen both of them, go see them right now. It was a crazy busy Friday for me to get both of those videos posted. I was still working on the picture frame and running up and editing both films and at the same time, and that's why I got those out kind of late. In fact, I forgot a scene in the miter sled video that I think was an important scene. Amidst all of the chaos that was yesterday, I forgot to put it in. Here it is.
One of the things I like to do is mark which one I cut on the left fence and which one I cut on the right fence, so when I have a bunch of pieces I'll know how they're going to fit together, and you can see that it makes a perfect match.
So that's the lost scene from the miter sled video, and I think it was kind of an important one, showing, you know, actually cutting it, because I didn't notice it until hours after I posted the video, so I went, wait a second, I don't have a shot of me actually making a frame. But I guess it works because I have the second video, the picture frame, and you can kind of see it in there. Okay, let me go over some stuff. First of all, the reason why I did 2 videos yesterday is because I knew that if I released one with just the music track on it, as I've done in the past, I get a lot of complaints from people who don't like that. They want to hear me yammering on. So there's 2 videos. There's the artsy-fartsy black and white one, and then the yammering on miter sled video. Let's see, let's go over a few questions. Oh, I did put a clear coat on. I lacquered that picture frame, by the way. I didn't show it in the video. It was just that video was getting way too long, so I thought I better start cutting to the chase there. And it looks great lacquered. That final shot you see in the video, it's all lacquered there. I used regular food dye, and that was again part of this experimentation. I think that whole video was really just a large experiment. And by the way, I think it's good for us to do that once in a while, not just with woodworking, but in our lives in general. Experiment with new stuff. I think it's easy for us to get kind of complacent, and we get really comfortable with what we know and what we do well, and we figure out a system and we just stay with it, and over time you'll get in a rut doing that. So I think it's fun to expand our horizons a little bit and try a new woodworking technique, or try something new in video, or try something new on your job, or do something new with your family. So that was just regular food coloring. I thought I'd give that a shot because I really wanted, the whole idea of that picture frame I built it for that particular picture, the Alice in Wonderland picture, and I've had that for a long time, and I really love that print, the really flat colors on that, and just the really graphic look of it. And so I wanted something to complement that, and so that's why I thought that the frame should be wacky also, just like Alice in Wonderland. I thought it should be like painting the roses red and the Mad Tea Party, and just splashes of color and everything. And then I thought to make the frame using plywood, but just using all of the exposed sides of the plywood would be an interesting technique to try. I really do recommend making a miter sled for your table saw. You'll get far more accurate and consistent cuts on it than you will on a miter saw or using your miter fence on your table saw. I wanted to mention these 2 fences I made mine 2.5 inches tall because that's as high as my blade goes when it's all the way through, because there's 3/4 inches here. So I think that if you make these as tall as you can, it'll be more flexible for you. You'll have more ways of cutting different sized wood. And finally, the tracks on the bottom, in my plans, I didn't put the distance between these because I don't know if all table saws are the same. I kind of doubt it. Mine is 12 inches apart on these, so you'd have to measure yours, obviously. Also, about picture frames. Picture frames can really be a lot of fun if you just experiment with router profiles. Remember this one, my David Hasselhoff picture? Because it's just 2 different profiles that are combined. So I did the same thing in that one just by cutting 2 pieces of wood, and all I used was the roundover bit on my router. I used 2 different size roundover bits, and that just gave it that various profiles. Another one I made a while back, and you can see that it's just got a strip of, well, in this case it's MDF running around here, and then also roundover, and then I used a cove bit in there to create that profile. But I like frames that extend this way and then the picture is inset. I think that kind of looks the nicest. I was also asked how I cut the plexiglass for the picture frame, and I cut that part out of the video. Again, it was getting too long. But I used my table saw right here, and I didn't realize that you could just cut right through plexiglass until just a few months ago, when a couple of people, last time I used plexiglass, and I used one of those plexiglass cutters, the little knives, and a couple of people said, well, you just cut that on a saw. And so that has rocked my world. Now that I can cut plexiglass on a saw, it makes it a lot easier. I wanted to show you my pond 1 week later. Hi, kitty. Hey, there's the cat. Whoop, sorry. Sorry. Okay, here's the pond all cleaned out. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. Boy, it really looks a lot better than it did when it was so overgrown. And I shot a whole bunch of video of that, and I think I may just edit that together and put it in a separate video for you to see the whole process. It took me all day last Saturday to clean that out. It was a huge job, but some of you might find that interesting, and I'll try to get to that one of these days.